welcome back to Chip's Corner this weekend. AgriTalk's Chip Flory joining us. Chip, last weekend on the show, we did an entire report on the $700 million regenerative ag pilot program. And specifically, we actually spoke to two dairy farmers who were in Washington, D.C. for that announcement in December, the unveiling of that program. And talking with them, just walking around the farm, they said one thing they were most impressed by was the fact that, Secretary Rollins of USDA and Secretary Kennedy of the Department of Health and Human Services are working so closely together, not only with regenerative ag, but just in a lot of different areas as well. And it all goes back to this Make America Healthy Again movement. And Chip, I know you've been having some conversations with USDA officials about that too.
Absolutely. USDA Secretary Rollins and HHS Secretary Kennedy have been on stage more than they've been on stage individually, it seems like. So a lot of cooperation is taking place there. This past week on the show, I had an opportunity to have Richard Fordyce on. He is the Undersecretary for Farm Production and Conservation. And we were talking primarily about President Trump's first year and some of the accomplishments of the administration. But we did get an opportunity to talk about MAHA because there was the pesticide issue, because there was the seed oil issue, because we continue to talk about the dietary guidelines and sugar and so on. And more often we are hearing Secretary Kennedy mention regenerative ag. So I asked him about that, and I said, Undersecretary Fordyce, when it comes to regenerative ag, what should we expect?
The regenerative program is looking at the farm more from a whole farm perspective. Are there other things that we could do to assist that farmer in improving soil health, which in my mind, it's a resiliency exercise. It helps that farm respond better to drought and to, maybe too much water. It helps with fertility. So maybe the inputs on the input side of that crop production system maybe are a little less over time if we're focusing on soil health. And so the regenerative approach here at USDA is nothing new. We're not inventing new practices. We're not doing anything differently than, again, highlighting the effort to improve soil health and that whole farm conservation planning.
Excellent. And one thing that's important here, Tyne, is Undersecretary Fordyce has got dirty boots. There's no questions about that. He understands this process. He understands that farmers are looking for ways to improve the soil health out there, and the regenerative efforts are part of that process out there from USDA. So we'll see what kind of incentives might be offered in the months ahead.
Yeah, I will say, Chip, I did ask those Missouri producers who we talked to last weekend on the show. I did ask them. I said, listen, we all understand why there was nervousness with Secretary Kennedy. I mean, you look at his track record, and he has specifically made comments about glyphosate. He has specifically made comments about some of the herbicides that growers use today. And what they told me was, Tyne, there was talk about tools in the toolbox for farmers. There was no talk about taking any of those tools away. And so for farmers out there that are still nervous and on edge and saying, really, what is Secretary Kennedy going to do? I think that is comforting to hear.
Oh, it absolutely is. 100% that's comforting to hear, because the tools that we've got in the toolbox are proven safe, they are proven effective, and they are proven efficient out there in the farm, out on the farm.
Chip Flory, AgriTalk. You can catch him twice a day for AgriTalk AM as well as AgriTalk PM. He'll also be at our upcoming Top Producer Summit in Nashville, Tennessee, so you can catch Chip there. All right, we need to take a quick break. And then, really, what is the secret to growing big yields? There's one thing you actually need to be doing now before you get into the field. But the other thing, according to Randy Dowdy and David Hula, there's some power in potash. That's in Yield Builders next.